As part of its mandate to maintain federal roads across the country, the Federal Road Maintenance Agency FERMA has commenced vegetation control and a listing of concrete line drains along federal roads in Imo State. The maintenance work is part of the agency's plan to make federal roads more motorable for road users across the country. The major part of the work is to open up drainages and waterways, which will in turn keep the roads long and durable. Experts are advocating public-private partnership as the way to go in the bid to tackle Nigeria's infrastructure deficit, or more than $2 trillion. This is coming despite the increased budgetary allocation to capital projects by the present administration. Our correspondent Chris Illems takes a look at how infrastructure fared in the outgoing year.
The state of infrastructure such as road, airport, railway, maritime, health centers, schools, power supply define the status of any nation. With growing population figure put at over 180 million and a disproportionate growth in budgetary spending on capital projects, Nigeria's over the years witnessed a huge infrastructure deficit, which experts believe would require over $100 billion within the next 6 years to shore up.
It has been on record in the last few years that government and other, infrastructure-focused institutions and authority in Nigeria, including the private sector, we collectively might have been spending maybe about $10 billion. So it means that we have a gap increasingly that is hovering around $15 billion or plus.
The effect of the deficit has left over 60% of the country's estimated 200,000 kilometers of road network in bad shape. Electricity generation abysmally low. However, in the last 2 years, the present administration has increased budgetary spending in order to bridge the gap. This, according to some infrastructure experts, might not be enough.
Federal government need to fund Infrastructure Development Bank. They need to empower ICRC, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission. They need to empower them. And MDAs, they need to change the narrative by seeing PPP as the way to go, because budgetary allocation is not enough.
Government has been trying increasingly in the last 5 years to increase budgetary allocation to infrastructure. It will have been impactful, assuming we began to plan before the population exploded, so that as each year we add more to the number of infrastructure that is available than the number of people and the users of the infrastructure. But we have lost time, allow demand to build up, that whatever we then make available on an annual basis look insignificant.
The road to recovery appears to have been set in motion as the nation's capacity to generate power hits 7,000 megawatts, though issues on distribution are still pending. Furthermore, the success of the 100 billion naira Sukuk bond project means more roads are to be fixed.
I assure you that on 25 major routes that encompass the A1 to A4, which is the Lagos to Sokoto, Warri to Benin to Katsina, Port Harcourt to Makurdi to Yobe, and Calabar to Katsina to Taraba.
If the estimated housing sector deficit put at over 17 million is anything to go by, the task of fixing this is obviously daunting, as it would require at least 500,000 units annually for the next 35 years. The minister says this too is being tackled.
It's a national housing program to test the design for two things around which previous housing initiatives have floundered: for acceptability by the citizens. There are empty houses that people don't like because they were not consulted when it was built. To also test it for affordability. There are also houses that some people like, they can't afford it.
As the country looks forward to playing in the league of top 20 economies in no distant future, whatever these would require must be given the desired attention. Chris Alems, Channels Television News.
Residents of Cross River State are joining other Nigerians and tourists to enjoy the annual Calabar Carnival holding in the state capital. Governor Ben Ayade, who declared the festivities open, explained that the migration theme for the carnival is an important message for all Africans to realize that migrating to other countries should be discouraged at a time when the continent needs its youth to build a future together.
Anytime you call me, I am ready.
The streets of Calabar, Cross River State take on a different look this day as traffic of vehicles and pedestrians give way to the colors and hues of troops from different states for the carnival. The arrival of the governor, Ben Ayade, and his wife, dressed in a ceremonial camouflage, precedes his welcome address alongside Senator Florence Itagiwa. The festival has the theme Migration, which highlights the need to discourage African immigrants to other nations at the expense of their countries of origin.
Today we're here to tell a story in the form of a drama, in the form of a dance procession, telling a story of migration, the problem of Africa. Our young men and women take risks through perilous roads, finding themselves in Europe and America in search of greener pastures. Today's carnival is to tell a story that Africa is the richest continent. Africa is blessed. Africa has got everything. We have no reason as a young man, as a young woman, struggling to leave African continent. Therefore, we tell this story, the melancholy, the pain, the agony, the frustration, and all that characterizes the travel. That indeed, the best place you can ever be is Africa.
And so it began.
That beautiful governor's band. Let's move it on, let's move it on, let's move it on, let's move it on. Hey! This Nigeria.
Gaily costumed troops walk down the streets, feathered headgear of a splash of colors as the people of the state, tourists and other visitors take in the sights and sounds. Except for the colorblind, the rainbow of participants added to the festive air of the event. By nightfall, the lights take on a different role as the party bands continue the interpretation of the carnival theme with a lot of dance and drama.
Even if the bay, there's no food anywhere.
The Calabar Carnival began in 2004 and is a strategy of the Cross River State government to boost tourism, thereby contributing more to the local economy.